Start.
Okay, dear students, class 12, I am very happy to see you again. Let's we enjoy reading the topic to autumn. In my previous class, interacted you in your classroom activities in your previous exams. After that, I am here standing before you again to resume the stanza number 2 and 3. In my previous stanza, chapter number 15, stanza 1, in which I told you John Keats, who is known and famous for his sensuousness of beauty. Sensuousness of beauty means when you enjoy all the natural objects by picturizing them, by imagining them, and feeling happy to see, touch, and watch it keenly. And when you paint your ideas, skills, and your imaginary part of heart through the pen or through the writing, it's give very pleasure and happiness to the soul. Now I here standing before you to explain you or to remind you or recapitulate you your first stanza. So John Keats divided these ode. This is an ode. And John Keats is very famous for writing ode. Ode is a song that is sung of our past memories, that is related to the sad ones and joy or happiness. In this ode to autumn, the last of Keats' ode is remarkable for its appeal to the senses, its word, picture, and imaginary. In the first stanza, autumn is represented as a season of mist and mellow fruitfulness, and a close bosom friend of the burning sun. The second stanza picturizes autumn as a harvester, crop cutter, and a reaper, and at last a cider maker. The third is a stanza of autumn, colors and sound music. But Compton Rickett remarked on the ode that he divided into three parts. First, that is color of symphony of color. Second, the symphony of movement, and third one, that is the symphony of sound. Here, my dear students, I would like to remind you in the second stanza, what did he say? Who hath not seen the oak amid thy store? Sometimes whoever seeks abroad might find thy hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind. I told you when a cool breeze blowing through the garden or orchard or the storeroom where you kept your fruits to the sense, and due to its fragrance and essence of the juice, the bees and hummingbird or other small creatures comes, but here it is depicts the bees. They sit on the juice that is fell down on the floor, or its scent is spread all over the storeroom, and they sit on it, and they became senseless by eating, drinking, and taking the fragrance of the juice or the fruits. And you see, they start sucking all the juices and became senseless, unconscious, as they have drunk the puppy. Puppy means is a kind of things that is that made us unconscious for sometimes, like a wine we used to take and we become unconscious, or we don't have the sense. In the same way, they are sitting on the floor and granary on floor and dripping or sucking the juice of the fruits and they are trying to move away from the stores or from the juice. But however, they sucked, they nipped and they dripped so much juice, and now they are unable to fly away. And in this way, they are trying to move away, run away or fly away, but still they are there, and their hard work and they are trying to, and their try or their attempt is unable to fly them away. And when the soft wind or the cool breeze blowing through their wings are flying, and they are unable to run away. But however, their wings are flying in the cool breeze of the air. And over an half-reaped furrow, sound asleep, drowsed with the fume of poppies while they hook. And they are being hooked there in the juices and unable to fly off. And so their wings are shaking by the air up and down as it looks they are trying to run away. It spares the nest soft and all its twinned flowers, and sometimes like a gleaner thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook. And you see, when they used to sit on the flowers, they unable to move away, and by doing so, it is now time of evening, and all the way you see it is going to be dark, and they are trying to sit on its means they became unconscious, taking the poppies or the fragrance of the flowers, and now they forget to run away or to go to their home or their own nest, and they become unconscious. And sometimes like a gleaner thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook, or by a cider press with patient look. And when a cider maker used to make sides of the juice, when he take out juices from the fruits, they are humming here and there all around the cider maker, and thou was the last oozing hours by hours. And the rest of the juice that is in the cider maker or in the jar, drop of juice that is remained still in the jar, a farmer or the cider maker used to take and waiting to drop down on his tongue, and still is waiting, but the juice is not coming down on his tongue. So it is the excitement, it is the sensations of beauty, how we use each and every drop of the juice. It is being said by the poet. And while bare clouds bloom the soft dying day and touch the stubble plains with rosy hue, then in a baleful choir of small grants moan among the river swallow borne aloft. And in the third stanza, while bare cloud with rosy hue, rosy means you all the sky looking very reddish in color. And then in a baleful choir, small grants moan, and all the choir group of the musicians, they are singing a mournful song. Mournful song is a very sad song at the time of evening. Then in a baleful, among the river swallow borne aloft. Beside the river, they gather together and they start bemoaning, and a mourning sound or a lamenting sound or a sad sound, they sing together to remember some past events or incidents in their life. Among the river swallow borne aloft, or sinking as the light wind lies or dies. And in this line, poet want to depict and picturize the age end of human being and the age of such things compared by the poet that human beings are born and they are welcomed and they enjoy in their till the age of 30-35 as they are known as the young ones, and after that slowly and gradually they become senseless and they still waiting for their death and ultimately they die. And full grown lambs loud bleat from hilly bourne, and you see that in the bank of the river after some distance you will see a lamb was crying for it, giving bleating sound for its mother from the hillside. His crickets sing, and now the his crickets, all the birds and all the creatures or small creatures starts singing or making their sound, and now with treble soft, and in the whole night you will see their sound will be listened by the people those who are taking rest. The red breast whistles from a garden croft, and gathering allows twitter in the skies, and all the birds they are returning to their nest by making sound, and they are making sound to come together and be happy, and let's return to our nest. In this autumn, in this poem To Autumn written by John Keats, I would like to summarize you again. Our ages are defined as the ages of colors, ages of movement, and at last ages of sound. In this way, nature creates such a beautiful things to grow, and at last it changes into the season of spring or an autumn, where all the flowers, fruits are laden in the branches of the plants, where a harvester, when you become young, you again harvest and reap and make juices of those fruits, and the rest you stored in your granary stores. In this way, our life is divided into three parts. First, that is the life of color, where we enjoy each and everything. Second, that is the age of young ones, where they harvest, breed, and give birth to the new spring ones, and they enjoy their life. And after that, when they harvest, reap, and they used to take the single drop of the juice as a cider maker and nipped it and weighed it, that what is the interesting and exciting remaining a drop of juice in the jar. So in this way, in the second stanza, he compares this one to the bees, those who are sitting on the juices or in the fruit. And by this he found that they are trying to fly away, but due to the puppy or the cocaine of the or the fragrance of the flowers and fruits, they could not run away or to fly away from the ciders that is in granary floor. And due to this they are being unconscious and they could not able to fly away. In the third stanza, it is being compared here that he describes the whole natural things, rivers, gardens, birds, and the crickets. They all haze and together they welcome their nest and they return when they have the evening. But still they are unconscious due to the fragrance and elegant essence of the flowers. And in this way, poet remark that he is being senseless, remembering his past memories of life, and this creates such incidents in his life that the red-breeched whistles from a garden crop and gathering swallows twitter in the skies, and all the swallows, crickets, hiss and whistles, and they return to their nest in group. Thanks for the day. And if it is possible for you, please comment me in comment box and go through the chapter, get the summary of it and write it down in your notebook. The summary of this poem, To Autumn by John Keats, and remark yourself, that means do you have any problem or not in this regard. Please comment me and go through the poem. I will wait you and watch the video till the end. Thank you for the day. Have a nice day.